Hi there, this is Snow City Tarot, and I'm here with a pick a card reading. I want to quickly say thank you to all my new subscribers and my commenters. I do appreciate your support. Today's topic is going to be what you need to know now. So this topic covers whatever situations you may be struggling with or dealing with right at the moment, and it will give you some insight on what to know about that situation. So for those of you that are new, I have 5 piles here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the description box, there are timestamps which you can click on and it will take you to your pile. If you have difficulty using your intuition and picking which one is best for you, you can use a random number generator. Just go to Google, type in random number generator 1 through 5, and try the number that it suggests in the generator. So, with that said, this is pile 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Take a deep breath. Think of whatever's going on in your life. Throw it away. Throw the idea out of your head. Take a deep breath and then pick whichever one of these calls to you the most. And I will start with group 1. Pile 1, this is for you. A quick shout out, if you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe, and if you'd like a private reading, you can get one with me down in my description box. I have an Etsy shop. So, we're starting with green. This is you. I have these cards having different meanings here, so I'm not just going to put them down willy-nilly, but we've got the 7th house as the situation that you're in right now that is asking to be highlighted. So we got the 7th house, the 5 of coins, the 8 of cups, and the 4 of coins for your current situation. And let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see the pictures. So what I'm seeing here is with the 7th house is this could be in relationships to marriage, friendships, business partnerships, your one-on-one close relationships. Sometimes it can mean legal issues as well. This is also the card of open enemies, the house of open enemies. It's how other people interact with you, and it's how other people see you, or the type of people rather that you attract. So within this area of life, we have the 5 of coins, the 8 of cups, and then the 4 of coins as the situation that you're currently in. And we also have mice, and this is discord amongst family and friends. So this could probably be more likely involving a friendship, a one-on-one partnership, a marriage, or something like that. With the 5 of coins, it does appear like, I feel like it's like someone left and the other didn't know what to say. For instance, so for the 5 of coins being here, that means, that talks about a sense of lack, a lack mentality. And we also have the 8 of cups as somebody who's decided to depart, somebody who's decided to walk away, for the good of all though, because for the 8 of cups, this isn't necessarily like a bad card. It's someone who's walked away. In some cases, it's a relationship that doesn't come to fruition, or things that don't come to be in some way. And it's beneficial because this is like a retreat, like a spiritual retreat. Now, for some of you, this may be permanent or it may be temporary because this person has left these cups behind. Those are actually good cups filled with things and they have value, but this person is naturally just feeling like it's better to abandon whatever it is. So this could be a project. This could be a relationship. This could be whatever it could be. It is something of value that had value to this person or you, and they're walking away from it. And I think there is a sense of loss though here, because we have the 4 of coins as well. And first of all, we do have 2 coin cards here, so this may have something to do with financial security as well, somehow playing into this. But with the 4 of coins, we have a situation where someone doesn't want to get off their butt, or someone doesn't want to give an inch, someone doesn't want to budge. They have what they have and they want to keep it, they want to keep it safe, and they don't want to jeopardize it. So this could be the 5 of coins kind of tying into this, as in whoever this is, whether it's you or the other person. This could be saying that someone's hanging on to something for dear life because they feel like they'll never get something else, or they're afraid that they'll never be good enough for better, or that they just don't have enough in their life. And so this could be a friend or a family member that we're talking about. Whatever side resonates with you, whether this is you or them. However, whatever choice is being made here does affect you in some way. So, how do you feel about this? So I want to get a feel on how you're feeling about this. Wow, okay, so we have the Nine of Spades, which flipped up on its own. I didn't see it backwards or flipping, but it was in the deck like that. So Nine of Spades as a feeling is pretty dark. It's a pretty dark place. It's a sad place. You know, it might be regrets or guilt, but at this point, it's with the 9, it's more of a stage where the situation has kind of spiraled out of control and begun to fester and turn into something that is disordered, something that keeps you up at night, and something that really weighs on your mind heavily. In some cases, this can be a very deep depression. And in a lot of cases with the Nine of Swords, there's oftentimes a call that you should probably take care of this and get to the root of the problem, because this is the energy where things have kind of gone too far and you're kind of just staying in it. So let's see here. So what do you need to know about the situation? We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Hanged Man. So these guys are saying that this is kind of more of a prediction of what's ahead, and also that's what you need to know. And these are advice, actually. I'll keep those for later. This is saying that what's ahead is a little bit better. Things will get better. Actually, he's not upside down. He's supposed to be upside down. So things will get better. This is saying that there's an opportunity that might be on the horizon, a new adventure, a new journey, a new opportunity. This can show new inventions, new ideas, new enterprises in some cases. If some of you are concerned with a partner regarding fertility issues, this can sometimes talk about, you know, a son, or, you know, some kind of sexual activity in some cases. I also see, though, that with Three of Pentacles, this can talk about assistance. So if this is a situation where someone's like, I want to leave, and say this is a marriage, this could be saying that there's counseling on the horizon, that with the help of a professional and some kind of help or assistance, things will get better. And that with the with the Hanged Man, this can often talk about new understandings, new realizations. There are other meanings to the Hanged Man as well. It can talk about wisdom, and new perspectives. It can talk about a pause in your life that's allowing you to kind of take a break and have some time to think. It could talk about self-surrender, which is for the betterment of your spiritual development. It can also talk about, if you're having difficulties with material things, this can talk about, you know, escaping temptation of those material things. So there are some things on the horizon for you that you need to know, that the situation may seem dire, but it does look like there's going to be some improvement, but not without your help. There is the thing with the seventh house is about partnerships, and that means that you're on the other side of this. This is partly your situation too. So if it's someone else, it's about you as a unit. What's interesting here, though, when I saw this, is balance. This is a card of Libra, or the house that Libra rules traditionally. Well, not traditionally. Anyway, but balance was in focus here. To be fair is a card about balance. It's also a card about Libra. So something, if you're hoping for something to happen, you know, October might be your month, because this is Libra season. And if you're watching this later, because my readings are timeless, it could be September as well. So September or October could be a time frame that you might be looking towards. But with To Be Fair and Grief, these are your advice cards. Grief says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So it does look like you might have lost a friend, a partner, you know, a marriage partner, something like that. And you could be in a stage of grieving, especially with this 9 of Spades. So this could be saying that, as advice, is that the lesson in this is that to acknowledge that you loved, you know, and this can also reassure you that you will be reunited with whatever happiness that you have lost. Now, whether that means you're being reunited with a person, I can't say for sure. It is a general reading. But it can say that the happiness and the love that you felt in the best of times will return to you, so long as you believe that it will return to you. So this, like I said, is not if you believe someone's going to return to you, they will. It's the energy of it that could return to you. The other card here, though, with To Be Fair, is talking about working things out, which is interesting because it does seem like this is something that can be negotiated. This is something that can be repaired if it's handled properly, because this talks about, you know, cause and effect. This talks about balance and justice and consideration, considering all sides of the issue, considering another person's perspective. That is what Libra is about. That is what our current energy is. We are in the month of October, which is ruled by Libra, meaning the sun is in Libra, Mercury is in Libra. So if this is, or I'm sorry, no, Mercury is in Scorpio now, I'm sorry. But this could be a good time for you to try to work something out. Try to see the other person's perspective. Try to work on this. So I have one card here for your randomly generated quote that may or may not apply. It says, he who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise. I think that this quote is probably talking about appreciating what it is that you have. Oops, sorry, my phone is ringing. This is talking about, sorry about that. This is talking about enjoying the things that you have. Let's see, who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy. But it also talks about kind of like materialism too. Binding to yourself joy and letting it go. This can also talk about, yeah, sorry, this is like the first time I'm really reading it. I wrote it down, but I didn't really think about it. But yeah, he who binds to himself a joy does the winged life destroy. So it's saying that life is, the things in life are fleeting, and by hanging on to the things that you have, your money, your wealth, your possessions, the people, if you're hanging on too tightly, even when that person wants to go, it can actually cause you more harm. But if you are the type to enjoy it as it comes to you, to embrace it and allow it to fly when it needs to, that joy will stay with you. Because yeah, if you hang on to something that's really wonderful and beautiful, and once it leaves you, suddenly the thing is rotting in your hand. You had all those good feelings about it, and suddenly it's becoming destroyed by the harder you hang on to it. So that is your reading, Group 1. If that resonated with you, please tell me in the comment section. And if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and if you'd like a private reading with me, you can get me down in my description box. That's my Etsy shop. And thank you for watching. Hi, Group 2. This is for those of you that picked this yellow card. This is your reading. I'd like to say very quickly, if you could like, comment, and subscribe on this video, I would greatly appreciate it. It does keep the channel going. So, I have some reasoning behind these cards, what cards they're for and stuff. So, I'm going to start with this one here. So, for the situation that you're in, for what you need to know now, It's regarding the third house. So what does this mean? This can involve computers. This can involve communications, text messages, emails, phone calls. This can involve your local neighborhood, just the immediate area. This can be involving cars or transportation in some way. This can also be about language and early education. So that's kind of what the theme is, happening here. The third house can also involve siblings as well, for those of you that may be in a situation like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else out of this third house that I'm pulling. I think that the long and short of it, though, for most of you, it'll probably involve communications of some kind. This can also be fax machines and office spaces, so that's another thing. So that is what is currently being focused on. Sorry, I didn't mean to get rid of that. I did pull some cards here for what might be happening, and I did pull clarifiers for this one, so that you got a little bit extra than the others did. So what I'm seeing here for the current focus is two people. We have the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords, and then the Two of Cups. So this can be harmony, friendship, or a relationship that's in focus here with this situation that you're currently in. And with scales, it says keep your life in balance. So there could be an aspect of keeping control over things, keeping balance in your life. The scales can also be representing Libra season, as we are in that right now. October or September may be significant. This also can suggest that this is partnerships as well. So business partners or relationship partners or one-on-one friends, something like that. But the main focus here that we're looking at has to do with the third house, so communications. What we have here is two people. We have male and female cards, so this could involve someone of the opposite sex or somebody that is more masculine in nature or feminine in nature, depending on your perspective, because it is a general reading, so keep that in mind. So the Queen of Cups could be a Scorpio, could be a Cancer, or a Pisces. This is usually a very emotional woman, somebody who is kind of melancholy sometimes, but very sensitive, someone who's open to listening, someone who's intuitive, and somebody who's very feeling and creative rather than rational and logical, which is where the King of Swords is. So the King of Swords here is someone who is very straightforward, logical, cut and dry, someone who can chat a lot, someone who has a lot to talk about and a lot of thoughts, and they are someone who's also very good at counseling other people. I think in their detriment, though, the King of Swords can be kind of cold, aloof, insensitive, that sort of thing. King of Swords can represent an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini. Most cases he's, I believe, an Aquarius. So if that one is important, and I think this one is usually a Scorpio. So maybe those signs resonate with you. But Two of Cups, though, definitely has something to do with maybe harmony issues. Something like you guys are not able to get along together, these two. Maybe the Queen of Cups is somebody who wants to engage in emotional talks with a rational, clinical person. This can sometimes, if this is in the third house area, this can talk about different occupations maybe. Because third house is communications. But what I see King of Swords is kind of like an authoritative person. It could be like a cop or like a judge or a surgeon or somebody who's got a lot of responsibilities and a lot of like power. Queen of Cups, unfortunately, is a little bit below the King. It's a sexist art tarot. But yeah, this is kind of like what I'm seeing, and I'm thinking with the King of Swords, maybe there's some harsh communication that could have been shared. I did pull some other cards to try to figure out a little bit more about the situation. We have Death and we have Ten of Cups. So this could be a communication that told you something about an ending or some kind of change with a situation that was working well, maybe. and I think that maybe this is something that is causing some troubles. Let me get cards here to determine how you feel about this, so we can kind of gauge it a little bit better. How does group 2 feel about this situation that they're currently in? 10 of Clubs, 4 of Cups. Well, it's interesting. So it may not be as dire or as stressful. Well, I won't say it's not stressful, but emotionally it doesn't look like you're too invested in this, because the 4 of Hearts can talk about somebody who's very, like, not dismissive, but just, how to describe this? Not bored, just somebody who's disinterested, someone who's apathetic to the situation. Maybe that's because this 10 of Wands, or 10 of Clubs, could be signifying a release of burdens, or kind of like, I'm picturing somebody throwing all the wands, you know? So I'm thinking that this came through, and maybe your perception of it is whatever. I don't care. It could be like that. Very dismissive, very apathetic, trying not to be reactionary. In some cases, this could actually be kind of relieving to you, if that's applicable. So let's see here. I've got the, I'm sorry, let me show you what's going on next, actually. So what's going to happen, what do you need to know about this situation? It's not saying what's going to happen. We have the Page of Swords, we have the 10 of Swords, and we have the Chariot card. Well, it does look like things are kind of tough right now. If you weren't sure how this was going, it does look like there's some kind of complete ending here. However, I do think that it's kind of a mixed message here, because it is a general reading, so it'll be different for everybody. So Page of Swords is saying that maybe a message will come in. Maybe this message will, you know, signify a more solid ending. Or this message could be given to you as maybe a warning of somebody maybe not having the best intentions for you. 10 of Swords can talk about having a, you know, experiencing a betrayal, or something that is, you know, gonna come around and bite you. But with this card here, which can mean success and triumph and things like that, it does look like it'll be overcome. Overcome? Yes. This can say that this person, whatever this is just some kind of unexpected news. And with this, it's saying that you could be, you know, some kind of news could actually give you the courage to rise again. If you're feeling like you're out on your luck, this is saying you may have courage to rise again. This could also talk about you perhaps being inspired to look to higher powers for help. This person at times can be an imposter in a negative light, but this can also, I think in most cases for you, this is going to be a message. So if you're talking about a communication that was confusing or not good, there could be a follow-up to that to kind of like put it to rest. And from there you can move forward. I think though that this may be getting to you a little bit more than these white cards, these playing cards let on, because I do have your quote card here, and it says, "You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down," and that's by Charlie Chaplin. So I think that you might be kind of down on your luck. You may feel like you're defeated. You may feel like this. But I think this is saying that something new could come in and kind of revitalize you, because the Chariot is here, kind of get you up off the ground and move you forward. We have adversity, and it says, "I accept that challenges are the best way to learn." So this is basically saying, though, that even though the situation is difficult, there are people that you can ask for help if you need to ask for help, and maybe you're not considering them. This is saying revisit that idea. You should definitely try to maybe reach out for some help. It's also saying that once you overcome this adversity with this other person, your confidence will be greater. So there will be some kind of gain or benefit to this that will be give you a ease of mind. you also have all that glitters. So this can talk about your situation not being what you thought it was, a person not being who you thought they were. You may have judged someone at face value, or and for better or worse, you may have judged someone at face value where you think that, oh, this person looks and acts like this, so that means that they're this type of person. And either you think, oh, well, I should spend time with them, or I should stay away from them. So this can talk about people who wear masks to hide aspects of their personality, like I said, for better or worse. So this is not necessarily saying that someone will betray you. And for some of you, maybe they will. But I want to say that this is saying, as advice, is trying to let you know that you should be a little bit more discerning about people. Try to look a little bit closer at them and try to see who they really are. In some cases, this may be researching them. Maybe you'll go in and research a person, because we do have this card is, it can be the card of spying, but it's also, the page is oftentimes like a little helper, right? So somebody who does research for the King of Swords per se, in some cases could be like the King of Swords. So this is something that you will need to know. Just be careful of who you trust. And also be careful of how you judge other people, because you could still be participating in this adversity. You could still be causing it by maybe judging people too soon. So that is your reading, group 2. Please like, comment, subscribe if this resonates with you, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'm going to move on to pile 3. Hi, group 3. This is for those of you that picked the, pink card. This is your reading. Just quickly, I want to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my content. It does help my channel out quite a bit. So, I have these cards meaning different things. So, I'm going to look at your situation. To start with, what area of life this may be working, could be regarding, we have Leo. So, this could be bringing up some information for some people that may be relevant to August, people born in August, things that happened then. It can also talk about leadership, and it can talk about creative endeavors and children. It can also talk about taking risks, and maybe this is where things are kind of occurring for you as far as situations that are that you're dealing with right now. So I've got, for the situation that you're currently in, I've got the 3 of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the 9 of Swords. For some of you, this could be a romantic thing. 3 of Swords doesn't always mean third-party situations, but in a romantic situation, it can be heartbreak, it can be loss, it can be sacrifice. You could be the one who has sacrificed someone, or you can be someone who has been sacrificed. The Queen of Swords is here, and this can represent an air sign, more particularly Libra, but it could also be a Gemini or an Aquarius. Just someone who is very communicative, someone who's very clear, someone who communicates very clearly, and somebody who may have said something in some cases. For some of you, someone may have indicated something very clearly or in no uncertain terms that makes this situation for the 9 of Swords appear. So this is a situation with the 9 of Swords. It's something where a situation has gotten out of hand so badly that it's starting to take root in the person's mind and become very it becomes very dangerous in a way. So this can be something that leads to someone's mental health declining, physical health declining. So this doesn't necessarily mean this is you. This could be somebody who and interesting, actually, sorry, Leo, I believe Leo rules the heart in some cases. I think in medical astrology, Leo rules the heart. Someone correct me on that if I'm wrong. But 3 of Hearts can mean surgery. 9 of Swords can mean illness as well. So for some of you, maybe this situation has to do with illness or heart surgery. or some kind of pain that you're currently in. I think that's going to be for a few of you, but for most of you, I want to say that this might have to do with leadership and respect and gambles and things like that, taking calculated risks. I think that it could relate to heartache as well, and it could involve this Queen of Swords person. So you could have hurt someone, they could have hurt you. Someone is depressed, you are depressed, or they are depressed. Whatever the situation is, you or they have, or both of you even, may have declined to a state where maybe you feel so guilty you don't sleep well, or you feel so depressed you don't sleep well, or that you live in fear and you're having difficulty addressing it. We have cobweb, though, to also describe the situation. It says, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Now, because this is describing the situation, I hardly feel like this is someone who feels they are protected from negative forces, and so I'm thinking that maybe you feel like your luck is so bad and that you are being afflicted by negative forces beyond your control. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Let me pull these cards, though, to determine how you're feeling about it, to get a better idea. Ace of Clubs. How is this person feeling about it? Queen of Hearts. King of Clubs. Well, I think there's a lot of emotions here. I think that this may be making your personal self-esteem deteriorate, may affect your sense of leadership, your ability to take pride in your work, your ability to take pride at all, your self-esteem. And with the Knight of Clubs and the Queen of Hearts, I'm seeing emotional situations. I'm seeing people that are angry. It's like angry and sad and feeling unhappy. I don't see the energy in these two cards that you can usually see, not with the setup that we have. You could have made a risk or taken a gamble that also fell out. You know, it didn't work. It did not work out, and maybe you lost out, or maybe you took a risk and now you're waiting to hear back, or something like that. Overall, though, I'm seeing some kind of nervous, misdirected energy, emotional energy. I feel like maybe for some of you this is a waiting game. Like right now you're in a stage of waiting to see what happens. Like you threw the line out there and now you're waiting. So what do you need to know about this? We have the Knight of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Moon. So I'm seeing a theme with this as well. There's a lot of intuition involved here, your gut instinct. There are some aspects of fear at play here. The Moon can talk about fears, suspicions. I don't think that if you're suspecting something, you need to maybe try to get to the bottom of why. And that's what the Nine of Swords is about. Maybe you're already doing that. But it's saying that with the Knight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, it could be talking about you know, changes, quick departures, things that happen in haste, acting in haste. It may be warning you not to be hasty, because things will turn out for the better. If you're acting hasty, it could be coming from a place of fear, and that is something that you want to avoid, because actions made out of fear are rarely good, or rarely come out well. And I think that's kind of one of the messages that you're getting here. But the Wheel of Fortune is very positive, so the situation, I think, is going to be coming around, and your fears are going to be squashed, basically, and you're going to maybe feel kind of stupid in the end. Or not stupid, but feel silly for maybe even being afraid of something. Because Leo is also a very brave card, you know, so I think bravery may be something that you need to think about. Are you being brave? Are you acting out of a good place, or are you acting out of fear? Yeah, this could also be telling you that there's something that you need to pay attention to in regards to your dreams or your imagination or your intuition. And it's interesting because indecision came up for your advice, and it says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So this means that this is advice to follow your heart, basically. You may be operating out of a place of fear. And, you know, the advice is here just to silence your mind. Try to get to the bottom of that. And you also need to know that even though you feel like fear is your gut instinct, that's your reaction, and you're not really tapping into that. It's difficult. People don't know how to distinguish from intuition or anxiety, basically. And even I have that difficulty. Even tarot readers and people who try to hone it and practice it, you know, operate out of a place of fear sometimes, because it is adrenaline and that fight or flight response is just so convincing, you know. But there's entire disorders of people who constantly feel that way, and when there's no threat. So it's difficult to try to distinguish what's what. For some of you, maybe you guys are dealing with anxiety, and that's what all of this is about. But at the heart of it, though, you need to try to quiet your mind. Try to practice some meditation techniques. Try to distance yourself from the stressor and try to figure out where exactly your concerns are coming from and why you feel that way. And actually that ties into this card. You got why in reverse. Why talks about your motivations and asking yourself why you're doing something the way you're doing, or why you're thinking about something the way you're thinking, why you're feeling a certain way, and why you're feeling paranoid, or why you feel like this is out of your control. Maybe you need to ask why you think you need to have control. Sometimes a lot of our fear comes from the fear of no control. So maybe ask yourself, are you trying to control a situation? Are you trying to dominate a situation? And if you are, is it really helping you? Is it really helping the situation? And is it helping anyone else? So that was that. So I've got this for you here, this pink card. This is your random quote generator quote. It says, live authentically. Live authentically. Why would you continue to compromise something that's beautiful to create something that is fake? And it's from Steve Marilotti from Life, the Truth, and Being Free. Yeah, so it's like there's something about this that you don't quite understand. There's something that you're doing you're kind of like lying to yourself about something. You could be telling yourself something to make you feel comforted, or and whatever it is, though, the lie that you tell yourself regarding this is not making you happy, and it's not going to bring you prosperity, and it's not going to bring you any good. So there is something that you're telling yourself that you need to try to get to the bottom of. Try to figure out what it is you really feel when you tell yourself these things. Like, it's definitely asking you to disconnect from how you feel. Like, really try to step out of it. Maybe talk to someone else. Kind of bounce it off of someone else and see if maybe you're just kind of being paranoid, or if maybe this is an anxiety issue, if you're really needing to be anxious, or maybe you should start seeking out someone to help you. So that is your reading, group 3. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if it resonates. And I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like a private reading with me, you can get me down in my description box. My link is to my Etsy shop there. So thank you for watching. Hello, group 4. This is for those of you that picked this blue card. I just want to give you a quick reminder to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my videos. It does help the channel out quite a bit when you do that. And yeah, so I have a couple cards here. I've got them all. They have special places to be. Okay, so group 4. Your situation can be summed up by Capricorn here. what I'm seeing with Capricorn is that this is relating to how people perceive you, your career, your aspirations, challenges. You may be kind of at odds with your own ambition. You may be trying to appear a certain way in order to gain some kind of goal here. And I think it's mostly related to your career, or at least just the legacy you want to leave behind, the honors that you want to receive. It's a very it's like almost like you're self-conscious of how the world sees you professionally right now, and maybe that's the stage that you're on. Like that sets the stage for the rest of this reading and the problems that you might be encountering right now. So let's see. I've got the Two of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Seven of Wands as your situation right now. And I also have Angel. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. As far as your situation goes, I'm not entirely sure how to interpret Angel here. This particular card, maybe it shows some kind of, because this is part of the problem here, maybe it has to do with you know, this spiritual guidance, protection from harm. Maybe you feel as if you're a little bit vulnerable. Maybe you need protection. Maybe you're a little bit worried about things possibly coming your way, but maybe not working out the way you'd like. It's very interesting. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe the imagery of the angel is something that's important here. Yeah, it would really depend on you guys. Like, what significance does angel have for you here? So within the realm of career and ambition, this also may involve December or January, people who are Capricorns, people born in late December, early January, early to mid-January. So the situation that you're in, I see planning stages here. You may be at kind of a, not necessarily a crossroads per se, but simply the choice to start the journey to get to the crossroads eventually, you know. Two of Wands to me is like someone stepping through a doorway, someone who's making the choice to embark on a journey or embark in a project or something that is in its idea phases. It's not quite births into life though. And Ace of Cups shows also this it's more of a mind. It's more of the mind. But the Ace of Cups though here shows in a situation, it's not like anything has been offered to you in this case. Maybe something has been offered to you. For some of you, I want to say this is fear or concern or worry over something that you may not be able to handle. So in some cases, I feel like maybe you guys were being offered some kind of responsibility, or offered some kind of opportunity to take something, run with it, and get it off the ground. You may be kind of pioneering something new in your life or in an area of work or career. You could be trying to start your own career, like start your own business perhaps, or your own project. It could be rather large though. Whatever it is, it's like the beginning of something, the beginning baby steps of something much bigger. So this is like the planning stages of writing a book, or the entry-level position at a job, or, you know, getting down the paperwork needed to register a business. Something like that. But I think that there is a fair amount of fear and worry over, you know, whether or not you can do all this. Can you do all this? Are you taking on too much? Did someone offer you something that you want to take, but also are feel completely incapable of doing? I feel like with all sevens, it talks about that stage where you're like, oh my God, do I give up? Do I give up? And I think in this case, it's like, I feel like it's like you've just jumped into a pool expecting to feel the bottom on your feet, but in reality there's nothing below you and you're starting to panic. That's kind of what it feels like. It's like that feeling when you jump in a pool and then the bottom isn't there and you have that big gasp of, oh my god, there's nothing beneath me, the bottom has dropped out, oh my god, there's no stability, what did I just do? I feel like that's kind of what it is. But you still have a fighting spirit, like you having this moment of panic, but your spirit is still like, okay, get your breath, get your bearings, we're gonna do this. And I think that's what we could be seeing here. Another analogy is jumping out, you know, thinking that you wanted to go skydiving and then getting to the moment where you're like, oh my god, I have to jump out of a plane. Like, I kind of feel like it's that weird excitement of what could be, but oh dear god, am I gonna be okay? It's that sort of feeling. So, how do you feel about this situation? I kind of, this whole thing seems to be feelings, but determined. You feel steadfast. You're like, okay, I made this decision. I'm going to move forward with it. I do see that there might be some regret, like you did bite off more than you can chew here, and you're wondering if this is gonna be okay in the end. So what is it that you need to know, really? I think you kind of know the situation that you're in. I think it's pretty straightforward, and you're feeling quite overwhelmed. But what I'm getting here for what you should know about this is probably going to be reaffirming what it is that you already are thinking. However, I think that with this ambitious spirit that you're in right now, you may be a little bit reckless with your time or resources. In fact, in some cases, it might be saying that, you know, you might be overexerting yourself in some cases with the Four of Swords. Like, you may think that you're doing okay right now, but I think that this may be suggesting that, you know, if you continue to not give yourself enough time to do other tasks, not give yourself enough time to do your daily responsibilities, not giving you enough time to do what else, like, you know, buy groceries, fill up your car, you know, you might be working extra hours and it's removing time in your day that you could have used for sleeping, eating, and getting, you know, some R&R, which is here, what it's saying here with Four of Swords. This is definitely the card that suggests R&R. You know, you got to keep it in mind when in the United States we had labor laws. I don't know how prominent they are these days, really. But the intent when people fought for those things, that's why we have Labor Day. I believe that's what Labor Day is about. But what that intends is to reward, basically to commemorate the people who fought for labor rights, labor laws. The intent was to have 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of time to yourself. It was supposed to be a very, you know, defined, you know, regiment that universally should be well known. And you need to allow yourself that sort of stuff. But it does look like you may not be in the position to allow that. So this may be just suggesting that you slow down with things. You know, and if you have vacation time, take it. You may want to take it. If this could also be, since it's Korea, it could be school related as well. So maybe it's suggesting that, you know, you may not be spending enough time on the things that matter right now. And they all matter, you know, sleep matters, time to yourself matters, work matters. But I think that you need to take a look at how you're using your resources right now, because this is all about resources. The Four of Pentacles talks about tightening the belt. Where are you giving too much? The message in the King of Pentacles is actually, the King of Pentacles is a very successful, very wealthy man, but he didn't get there by giving everything away. That's not how he found success. He's very generous with people, but he's also able to rein it in when it's becoming too much. So this is kind of what it's saying here, and for some of you, I'm wondering if this is referencing a person. I feel like this is the energy that you're in, but for some of you, a Taurus, older Taurus man may be significant or being called out here. So that's just a note that I'm seeing. But from what I'm seeing here, though, it is suggesting that you need to take some time for yourself. Fours are about stability. You are not getting, you are not stable right now. You are not secured. You're not taking time for yourself. You're not taking a reprieve before you know, pick up your I don't know why I want to say pick up your axe and go at it again. And that's kind of something that you need to be aware of. Now, I feel like this can also be a boss, this King of Pentacles. Maybe this is suggesting that you need to ask for some time off or ask for a raise if you're not secure. You know, and it may be something that you're kind of concerned about, like you don't feel like you have the place to ask, or maybe you don't have the feeling of worth enough to ask, like you're not valued enough to ask for these things. But this may be saying that you should at least give it a shot. If you're working as much as you're working and you're doing good work, it's okay to take a risk and ask for a raise if you need it. Because what are they going to do? They're going to boot you for asking for that? If they are, then that's not the best place to work. So perseverance is one of your cards for advice. It says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Well, obviously. This is saying that maybe slow and steady wins the race here. I think that you should still be concerned about your energy allotment, what you are giving out to other people, and what you are spending on yourself. However, I think that with the right application, and that's what this means, is with the right application and the right management of resources, your success will be assured. But you cannot let yourself get out of control. You cannot let yourself get burnout. You cannot let this spiral into something else. So, for instance, if you're feeling sick, take a day off. If you don't, it could spiral out of control. Suddenly it goes from having a cold to getting long-term sick to getting pneumonia to being on antibiotics, and suddenly the whole thing is kind of becoming a much bigger issue than it was to begin with. Because remember, this starts off as the Ace of Cups. Starts small, it's just an idea, and then you let the thing start to consume your life, and then after a while you're not happy anymore. You may be and this can affect everything. You know, if you let your work affect you personally like this, it can affect your personal relationships. It can affect your personal health. It can affect pretty much every aspect of your life, so that, you know, everything falls away. In the end, all you really have is work. So if you like other joys in life, experience them so that it's not all consuming and always about work. But we also have regeneration in reverse, or I'm sorry, no, it wasn't reverse. It's regeneration upright for a career position, or prosperity message. That's what this is. Basically, it's kind of more bolstering you and reminding you that you are a more powerful person after you undergo hardship. So it sounds like maybe this situation is something that you're going to have to endure regardless of whether it's making it easy for you to take care of yourself. But with regeneration, it's suggesting that you know, out of loss comes abundance. Out of trials come success. So, you know, maybe you've been on this for a while. Capricorn is a very ambitious sign. It climbs the highest mountains. It's a goat. So, you know, maybe that is kind of where you're at. You may have started this thing, and maybe you have kind of come to the point where you've been at it long enough that you're wondering, oh my God, should I just give up and walk away? And I think the answer here is no, if that's the question that you're asking. And that if you persevere, this will get better and rewards will be seen. So I also have this card here. This is a random quote I got from Random Quote Generator. to play you out, and let me know if you find any meaning in this. I think I can see it myself, but let's see. It says, sometimes you have to steer away from the crowd to be a better person. It's not always easy, but it's right. And sometimes doing the right thing feels good, even if it ends up to be a trip to the principal's office. Simone L. Keller from Leaving Paradise. I think it's a book. You can pause it if you want to read this again. Hopefully you can read my writing. But what this is saying is, I think that, again, you're going to have to do the thing that you want to do. So if you want to take a break and you're worried what other people are thinking about you, screw them. Screw them if you're really as valuable as you are and putting as much effort into something as you are. You don't need to worry about them. They'll be there when you get back, because without you, they're probably lost. So I don't think that you should worry about that. If it's, you know, any other thing, it's saying that you might have to break the rules for yourself. Break the rules for your own personal benefit. And if you've been on the up and up, and if you've done everything very selflessly for very long, I don't sense that this is something that is going to come back to bite you. I think that people may even be understanding if you need some kind of break or some kind of understanding or some kind of therapy after what you're going through. And I don't think anybody is going to think the less of you. So that is your reading group 4. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to get a private reading with me, my description box has my link to my Etsy shop, and you can get one with me there. Thank you for watching. I'm going to move on to the last group, group 5. Hi, group 5. This is for those of you that picked the yellow card. I just wanted to say a quick shout out. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the description box or in the comment section what you think of my work. So let's see here. Yours was interesting. group 5. I'll show you. So I got 2 of these cards. I got Pisces first, and I was like, well, I'd rather take the house card because I really wanted to keep it to 1. And then I pulled some other cards, and I'm like, okay, I suppose Pisces is meant to be here. So, second house, these are the areas of your life that this could potentially be involving. So, if I were to say second house in Pisces, this means that your spiritual values are being highlighted in this house. The way that you make money, it may be very spiritual. This is not necessarily your day job, but it's like how you make and how you spend your money. So this could indicate your hobbies, what you're willing to spend your cash on. But together also, given the rest of the cards, I'm wondering if this has something to do with your value system, because the second house can talk about the value system of our culture, the value system of our family, what we've always followed, that is what we follow, that sort of thing. Pisces is about that spirituality, though, so this is almost kind of like, maybe, I wouldn't say inherited, but something that's been passed down to you, like a gift that's been passed to you, if that makes sense. Pisces is the sign of endings, not necessarily like Scorpio or the 8th house where it's like death or something. This is kind of that stage where life is over and on the precipice of going back into the beginning again. It's the last house and the last sign of the zodiac, and it's very spiritual. It does talk about dreams. It talks about intuition. It talks about martyrdom and self-undoing. It is an interesting house. It's an interesting sign because it's both very altruistic and then also very self-harming in a weird way. But the message, if you were to get any kind of spiritual message or areas of life that you would want to say that Pisces rules, it's tarot, it's spiritual messages, it's messages from beyond, it's dreams and dream interpretation, it's religion but not organized, it's the deep religion that's within you, the thing that you may not even talk about. It's hidden. Pisces is about going deep, depth, and it's about, you know, it's very nebulous and very dreamy, and this is an energy that you're about right now, and it could be telling me that you're getting some kind of odd communications, maybe you know, odd dreams, prophetic dreams even in some cases. It's a very spiritual placement, and the second house is kind of telling me that this maybe is based in your ancestry. Maybe this is based, this could be also talking about people that have passed away, maybe, that were once your ancestors, you know, or were once your family members that have since gone. It's very interesting when I pulled these cards. So let's look at the rest here. Really neat. Oh, also, yeah, okay, so to further explain the situation, I took one T card and it says, nest, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Well, we've got security being featured here, emotions being featured here in a water sign, and then we have family, nest. So I feel like, and please let me know if this is on track for you. I'd love to hear about this. I want to know, because I'm thinking maybe, well, hang on, let me keep going. I'm getting too excited. So I'm taking these cards to show what the situation might be. We have the Empress, we have the Seven of Cups, and this is the moment when I was like, okay, I'm taking the Pisces card back out, because I got the Moon. Moon is dreams. Seven of Cups is dreams. The Empress is, you know, this can be a very creative person. The Empress, she's very rooted in security, which is interesting because the second house is here, rules Taurus, and the Empress is ruled by Taurus and or Libra. I personally see the Empress more of a Taurus card to me, because she's very focused on the earthly pleasures, children, you know, these beautiful things like life. The Empress is fertility. She can be creation, creative thought. And with the Seven of Cups and the Moon, you know, maybe the current situation you're in right now is, well, first of all, it's going to be very vague. Sometimes these cards together mean that you don't have a great grasp of things. But this isn't a predictive reading, so I wouldn't say that you're not allowed to know about it. It's just maybe something's on the tip of your tongue, or something's at the, right in front of you, but you just can't see it, but you know it's there. And I think that maybe there's some kind of intuition here. Now, the Empress, you know, she's not typically the most psychic card, but she is the mother. She does have mother's intuition. So I wonder if there's something about you that you feel like something's coming, maybe. Maybe you had a premonition. Maybe you're having a premonition, or not like right now, but maybe you have repeated visions of something. Maybe you're getting dream visitations by a woman. Maybe this person is your mother or a grandmother. Maybe you don't really know who it is in some cases, but there's a motherly energy about them. And this is so crazy because it's either this or some creative endeavor. Something, maybe some kind of person, you know, some kind of inspiration about creative things or something like that. So I pulled another card just to kind of get an idea what the heck this is, and I get the Queen of Wands. So there's a woman in this that is relevant to you. I don't feel like this is you. I feel like this is somebody outside of you, somebody that is, you know, connecting with you. But here again, we have creativity with the Queen of Wands. She's the most creative queen out of all of them in the deck. She's very passionate. She's always there for people. She's very charismatic. She's a creator. She's an artist. Empress, also an artist. Seven of Cups. You know, it's very interesting. And it's hard to tell you which it is because so often you'll see art and creative signs and psychics and intuitives all kind of like mushed together because of the way that our minds work. You'll often find us as dancers and musicians and, you know, entertainers and actors. We live in that kind of world. So I'm having difficulty being able to discern creativity from spirituality, psychic, intuition, that sort of thing. And maybe for some of you, it's going to be balled up together. For some of you, it might be one or the other. But there's some aspect about your spirituality, your emotions, or your creativity that is being highlighted here. What's interesting is Taurus is also Venus ruled, right? So Venus rules love and beauty and creative things. Like if you have a Venus in the second house, you could be a makeup artist or some kind of person who works with aesthetics. You could be very so this could be talking about cosmetology or hairdressers or fashion or whatever. But that's not necessarily the case here. I still have a feeling that this is some kind of psychic thing. Psychic or creative, but it's leaving you feeling confused. Like, what do I do with this? The Seven of Cups is presented with all these opportunities, all these things, and they're like, wow, this is really amazing. What do I do now? Because now I have all these new choices to make. Now I have all these new things to respond to. What do I do? What do I do? And oftentimes this can talk about someone who is so overwhelmed with options and so overwhelmed with potential that they do nothing at all. They just kind of, it's like a deer in the headlights. They're just like, interestingly enough, with Pisces in 12th house, maybe some of you have kind of come into some kind of celebrity success as an actor or some kind of, entertainer. Because the Pisces can talk about lies, but it also talks more about fantasy and illusion. And the moon also talks about fantasy and illusion. So it's your reading is just as nebulous as the content that it's about. So if you're feeling confused, you may still feel confused, but maybe you have a better idea of what's happening after this reading. So what else? Oh, so I wanted to get some cards to decide how do you feel about this. Okay, well, no, that was an accident because that was in the last reading. I'm going to shuffle these actually because I don't think I did. So we wanted to get an idea though of how you feel about this, so I can kind of further guide you. How does group 5 feel about this? Interesting. 10 of Pentacles flipped over. That's interesting. That's more ancestry. That's stability. That's like something deep down that you feel this. It's almost like maybe you have a knowing that there's something more to this. That this is maybe something that's being given to you as a gift, or something that's being given to you as some sort of great wealth. How does group 5 feel about this, please? Oh. Endings. Queen of Diamonds. I feel like maybe you have a hunch. There is no death card, so 10 of Spades in a playing card deck is different from 10 of Swords in a bit. I mean, it can talk about the same things, but it doesn't necessarily talk about the same, it doesn't always talk about the same betrayal as you would feel regarding other topics. Now, interestingly enough, I'm getting another theme though. Pisces and the 8th and the 12th house can be about hidden enemies, people that you don't trust. But I feel like for most of you this might be something else, but let's continue. How you feel about this though, it does seem like there is some knowledge of an ending here. We got the Queen of Diamonds. This person can be a Capricorn. Oh, also this can represent a Leo. I do include other signs. So we got Taurus, we got Leo, we got Cancer, we've got Aries and Sagittarius, but this is a Leo if we want to, keep it specific. This is a Leo, this is a Cancer. Oh, I'm sorry, is this Cancer or Pisces? Shoot, I can't remember. Water signs regardless, though. Can be, I think this is Pisces. And then the Empress, also kind of representing that emotional psychic energy. Creative as well. I feel like though there's some kind of hurt that comes along with this, some kind of understanding and knowing. I wonder if some of you have been visited by a past loved one. Maybe it is your mother, like, because this is giving you this feeling of security, you know, like a mother. Because the diamonds, Queen of Diamonds is the mother card of you know, playing cards. There's only 4 queens. There's no Empress. So there must be this mothering feeling about this that you're getting, but also pain. We have pain and completions, and I'm just wondering if this is something from the past that is being dredged up. It may be a past betrayal or a past pain of someone being lost, or someone who's passed away. Something is here that it's trying to get your attention, maybe. So what do you need to know about this? Well, we have the 8 of Cups, we have the Knight of Cups, and then the Death card. What do you need to know about this? Well, we have the 8, which is talking about, you know, walking away from something, right? But it is also a very spiritual card about, you know, leaving behind your worldly goods to take up a new life someplace else, abandoning what it was that you loved and had in order to pursue more spiritual things. The Knight of Cups talks about a messenger, somebody who's coming in with, sometimes this person is very creative. We're seeing this like parallel with creativity and spirituality. So it is possible that this could be a message coming from a past loved one. We have the Death card here as well. Maybe this is the message that they want you to know, is that things are moving and things are changing. They may be asking you to take a different approach on something in order to pursue something that's more aligned with your soul's purpose or your life path, something like that. This, for some of you, if this was like a premonition, this can sometimes mean political upheaval, depending on where you live. Maybe that is the thing that you may be warned about. You'd have to use your best intuition on what that, if you had a dream or a visitation, you'd have to actually figure out what that might have meant. It's really on you, because I don't know. I don't know what it looked like. I don't want to see. I don't see it. So you know, maybe this is something about an illness or political upheaval, if it's a premonition of sorts. Right now, people may be getting premonitions. We have Mercury opposition Uranus, and this can create sudden bursts of insight, depending on where it is in your chart. It could give you some kind of shocking spiritual message. But I feel like what you need to know is that maybe something is coming to an end, or this is a visitation from someone who has passed, and that's what you're wondering about. Maybe you're wondering, like, what the heck is that? What happened here? It is October. We are moving into mid to late October. So this is that area of the chart where the veil begins to become thinner, and then we start to transition into Scorpio season. That's why Halloween is around this time, because the veil is thinner, basically. I don't know a ton about Samhain. I'm not a Wiccan, but from what I've understood, I do know that this time of year people experience more darkness in their life. Not necessarily darkness, it's really your perception of it. You know, is death negative? Is death bad? This could also be the time of year where you need to connect best with your departed family members. That's the thing, is modern, you know, at least in American culture, modern Americans have really divorced themselves from death. They, you know, make sure that the bodies are pretty and that passing is easy for everyone, and you know, we don't really let people see bodies after people pass either. So closure might be an issue here, that, you know, maybe there's some kind of spiritual closure or closure regarding a death or a passing that you were not able to do, and maybe this is, you know, something that you need to kind of work on, depending on how long ago this was. But this is kind of what you need to know about it. Now, I don't really see anything like this isn't an advice. I don't see them telling you to take any action. I think that maybe you need to step away. If anything, the action they suggest is to step away and kind of just allow yourself to flow with it. Because maybe there's a lot of emotional blocks or physical blocks around you or things like that. I know we do have a lot of psychics and mediums and other people that watch tarot readers. It's always better to get readings from other people. But maybe this is talking about your own mediumship. Maybe you're trying to work on that and the blockage is there. And you need to try to step away. You need to go on a retreat. And this doesn't mean, you know, just step away from social media for a little while. This is like literally get out of your house, tell your family you'll be back in a week, leave your phone at home, get to know yourself again. Because this is like a spiritual retreat. So if anything, maybe that's what you need. But yeah, I think my main message that I'm getting from this is that you have received some kind of message from a loved one, a past loved one, or a message from or premonition or some kind of spiritual connection, communication. And you don't know what it is. And that's kind of what we're seeing here, is something like that. Maybe there was a haunting. That's another one. Maybe there's some kind of haunting or some kind of paranormal thing is mainly what I'm getting here. And I don't get this very often, but this is very strongly coming through for me as that. Now, acceptance. Now, remember what I said about mourning and getting the proper closure when it comes to a death. This is kind of what you're learning through this. What's important for you to know is acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. So this may be coming to terms with something. I can't really apply it much better to like a creative aspect, acceptance to some kind of creative thing. Could be endings to that sort of thing as well. I'm really not getting the vibe though that it's much more than some kind of paranormal thing that might has happened to you. We also got to the sea, which talks about blocks. It's basically saying that honestly, if you were like, I think I've witnessed a haunting, or I think I just got visited by my grandmother, or something, you know, this is saying there's no hidden messages in that. That maybe it is what it is, and maybe you're trying to block something out. It could be saying though that you could be experiencing blocks, and this is saying that you need to stop fighting them. And you need to just kind of accept that right now you don't have this aspect of you. So I guess you could say then, yeah, we're kind of going back into the creativity area of things. You may still be experiencing, maybe you're experiencing a block in creativity, can't move forward with a project, is one thing as well. And this is saying if you're forcing this to work, if you're forcing yourself to understand something, if you're forcing yourself to try to become creative, forcing yourself to try to connect with, you know, spirits or whatever, if you're forcing yourself, it will not work. It's not the right time. This card comes with a quote. It says, when fishermen cannot go out to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. It's saying that right now isn't necessarily the best time for you to be pushing this issue. It's not something that's going to budge. And that also meshes with some stuff astrologically. We've got Pluto square Mars, and I think we got Saturn square Mars still. The way that I've heard it described within the astrological community, it's like it's like pressing the gas and pressing the brakes at the same time. It's like you want to go, but there's too much, like literally restraining you from doing what it is that you want to do right now. So you might be very frustrated like this, and you may feel like everything is a block in your way, and that it's really dragging you down. Now, lastly, I've got this card here. It says, this is your random quote generator quote. It says, it's a blessed thing to love and feel loved in return. This may be something indicating that this is a family member again, like a past loved one. And that saying that, you know, you were very blessed to have loved this person and they still love you now, even though they have passed. and they still, maybe this is saying that they still think of you even though they have passed, and that is all you need to know about whatever it is you experienced. This is by E.A. Bucchianeri. Brushstrokes of a Godfly is the book I think it's from. So you can pause that if you need that message. And so overall, I think you just need to relax. You may have experienced something very weird. And if you're frightened by it, don't be. You may need to just realize that there's some things that you can't explain. And that's okay. Life is full of mysteries. It's all right that they are there. But just know that if you're feeling insecure or like something's bad has happened to you, or that maybe you're cursed or it's a ghost or demon or whatever, don't worry about that. That's not what this is saying. I believe that if something strange has happened to you, it was most likely someone coming to check up on you. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching Group 5. Please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I want to thank all of you who have continued to watch from the start to the finish. And I want to thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.